true talk show where the real stories flow. Tom the real piscine predator, letting the truth show. From crimes to politics, he dives deep into the core. MMA, trending news, nothing he won't explore. Get ready for the ride, no filter, no disguise. TRPP'S true talk show where the real stories flow. Tom the real piscine predator, let it talk like the truth show. From crimes to politics, he dives deep into the core. MMA, trending news, nothing he won't explore. Get ready for the ride, no filter, no disguise. TRPP'S speaks the truth, no sugarcoat or lie. Buckle up, hold tight, the facts will blow your mind. Smash the like, comment, subscribe, don't let this pass by. No, let this pass by. Unveiling mysteries, shedding light on what's concealed. Tom unravels the unseen, the untold tales revealed. Each episode a journey, a roller coaster of insight. No topic off limits, the uncovering taking flight. Brace yourself for the impact, the naked truth on display. TRPP'S voice echoes loud, resonating far and wide. Standing tall in the storm, unafraid to take a side. Join the conversation, let knowledge be your guide. Hello. Hear the roar of honesty, the rhythm of the real, in the realm of authenticity where lies can't steal. TRPP'S true talk show, a beacon of zeal. Hello, let this pass by. Hello, let this pass by. Hello.
What's up, guys? It's your boy, the real Piscine Predator, aka TRPP baby, and I'm back with that true talk. Let's go. All right, guys. Sorry about the technical difficulties earlier today. I really wanted to get up, have that early morning live stream, do the whole verdict watch for Richard Allen. But you know how it goes. If I ain't got bad luck, I ain't got no luck most of the time. So it is what it is. But got everything rebooted, try to like update everything, and well, we will see if it goes. Man, and I don't know if any other creators out there are having issues with YouTube, dude, but my studio, my back off, the whole back portion, right, where our mods, our block list, all that stuff, all the different things that we can kind of customize to our preference, completely freaking wiped, dude. I don't know what's going on with this. So it's like, I know I have moderators, but when I go to my back office, there's no moderators. I know I have a ton of people blocked, the trolls. Block list completely zero, nothing on it. So I'm not sure if y'all are having the same issues I am, but it's pretty annoying. And if you couple that with technical issues, because I didn't really use my computer this whole time I've been away, I've been pretty much just on the phone. Yeah, it's been something else. It's been something else. So I'm sorry for everybody that showed up this morning and I wasn't there. Sincere apologies. But hey, it's YouTube, right? It is what it is. So let me get caught up in chat. Let me see who's actually here hanging out, y'all. All right, we got Warrior Nun. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. We got High Insights. Thank you. It's good to be back. Criminal Med. Good to see you. Calm Mouse. Good to see you. Angelique. So you familiar with the Ellen Greenberg case, huh? I know a lot of people are, at least anybody that was following me last year. We definitely covered it. But we're going to get into it. I'm going to do a little bit we're going to backtrack a little bit. I'm going to, get people up to speed on what the case is, what it's about, and everything. I fished around, found some good videos, a couple articles that kind of condensed a lot of the information, so we're not here for 3 hours. But definitely want to touch on it. It was one of the cases that really stuck with me last year. And I'm okay, outside of true crime, I will dabble into conspiracy. But then, like, once we get into the true crime realm, like, I don't really base too much opinion off of conspiracy, right? But with this case, whew, this case right here, well, you know, it speaks for itself, definitely. All right, what else? Who else I got here? Miss Dakota, good to see you, my friend. Lunch lady, good to see you. Sunshine, good to see you. Groovy gal, good to see you, ma'am. Good to see you. Let's see. Mom, good to see you. My love, the beautiful Tiffles, good to see you, babe. Thank you for being here. I know it's been a rough day. I appreciate it. White Trash family in the house. Thank you. I appreciate the love from the White Trash family. I appreciate it, y'all. Much love. Who else we got? We got Beagle Mom. Good to see you, ma'am. Miss Tattooed Angel. Good to see you. Who else we got? Summer. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. What else am I missing? Gator Hater, good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, Miss Donna Clark, good to see you. Damn, people all rolling in. Thought there'd be like maybe 3 or 4 people up in here tonight. All right, am I caught up? Oh, snap. Mr. Sean Chicken Snake, good to see you, bro. Good to see you. April P, good to see you, my friend. Miss Darcy, good to see you. Good to see you. All right. It looks like I might. Oh, snap. I missed that. Thank you so very much for gifting out those memberships. I appreciate that so very much. All right, guys. So, yeah, like, dang, StreamYard is acting really different. Much different than what it was back when I was actually using this stuff. Pull this down. All right, guys. So, like I said, we were going to do Ellen Greenberg this morning and do the verdict watch. Obviously, that didn't work out that way, which the verdict didn't come out anyway, so it's not like we missed a bunch. But like I said, I want to get into this Ellen Greenberg case. We'll do some catching up for the people that don't know about it, and then people that do know about it. If you haven't been keeping up on it, I'm just a warning, y'all probably gonna be a little upset because I know I was. All right, but let's get into it. Let me go ahead and pull up this first video I got for us to go through. So this one right here, it's going to be a long crime video, so we'll fair use this bad boy. And it's Brian in it. I know some of y'all like him, some of you don't. It is what it is, but they compiled a lot of good information to kind of like get us caught up to speed for the people that don't know about it. So we're going to jump into this one. Let me go ahead and pull this up on the... All right, share that. All right. Okay, guys. So for those that don't know about the l.l.l. Greenberg case, I could sit here and try to give you my rendition real quick, but this video right here will catch us up to speed. And if you got questions as we're going through, drop them in. I'll try to keep up on the chat. Even though there seems to be a lag, I don't know if that's because I'm running it through StreamYard, so it's lagged out a little bit, but it is what it is. We'll proceed. Let me know. Give me some ones in chat. Once I get it going, though, let me know if you guys can hear it.
The knife was still sticking out of her chest. There was a knife sticking out of her chest. So I could see she was exceedingly pale.
For the first time, we're hearing from the paramedic who was one of the first on the scene of Ellen Greenberg's gruesome death. Why he says he was suspicious from the beginning in this episode of Enton Across America.
Now let me ask you guys this. Would you all consider coming upon a body and the person has damn near 20 stab wounds and a knife hanging out their chest? Would you assume that and some of the stab wounds are like pretty much impossible to do yourself? Would you consider that suicide? Unalive, and sorry, YouTube, my bad. I think we made it past the minute mark, so we should be all right.
As part of a collaboration between News Nation and Law and Crime. Hey everybody, this is Brian. I'm in downtown Philadelphia outside the police station right now. I've been here all week investigating the Ellen Greenberg death. It's my third trip, I think, to Philadelphia trying to dig up new information and get answers. If you want the full...
You see, Green Bassmaster, good to see you, man. You had me cracking up yesterday. I was watching you in chat over at Rebels. It was funny. Had me dying. Let's see. Yo, drop me some ones in chat though if you guys are familiar with this case. Ones in chat if you're familiar with it.
Full backstory on Ellen, go back to one of my previous Infinite Across America podcasts, and you can get the full backstory synopsis. But basically, Ellen was a young woman in 2011, a teacher, and she was found stabbed to death 20 times in the heart, in the aorta, all over her body, in the back, in the spinal column. It was ruled a suicide. Her then
in the back, in the spinal column, but it's ruled a suicide. Killing me, man.
Fiance Sam Goldberg is the one who discovered the body. It was actually first ruled a homicide and then changed to suicide. And ever since, there's been all sorts of questions about how this woman could possibly do this to herself. Many experts say it is absolutely impossible. So in this trip, I managed to find.
I'm gonna go ahead and agree with the experts that this is pretty much impossible. I mean, unless she was like a contortionist, I don't know.
The former prosecutor who was in charge of investigating the case, who was told to take a look at the file and the evidence. His name is Guy D'Andrea.
Summer Thunder happened 30 minutes from where I live. Ooh, so you're what we would call, close enough to be a local, right? What have you heard? You gotta give us some info in the chat if you've heard some stuff.
And he investigated back in 2015. He's since gone into private practice, so he's now able to talk to me about it. And he believes it is definitely not a suicide. He went over all of the evidence, and he says based on what he found, there's no way it's a suicide. Listen to a little bit of what Guy told me.
Does this still bother you? This case still bothers me so much because I don't understand why it's so hard to do the just thing. Justice is...
Bro, I don't know why this case didn't get more publicity last year. It didn't just happen last year, but there was a big push last year to really get some investigation opened up on this, because it's clear as day that this woman did not kill herself. I don't know, it's wild, man. It just baffles me that it didn't get enough attention.
It's just giving the correct answers based upon the evidence. And then I strongly believe there is no one with a straight face and who is honest with themselves who can lay their head on a pillow at...
Oh, come on. What? 1 second. All right, give me 1 second, guys. Let me try to fix this. Okay, I got it. 1 second, guys. My bad. There we go.
Hard to do the just thing. Justice is just giving the correct answers based upon the evidence. And then I strongly believe there is no one with a straight face and who is honest with themselves who can lay their head on a pillow at night and sleep comfortably, who can say this is definitively a suicide.
So one of the things that the former prosecutor told me that he found to be the most suspicious was the 911 call that Ellen's fiance Sam made.
I'm gonna tell you straight up, before we even get into the meat of it all, never mind. I can't be accusing people if I don't know that they did it, but come on, man.
When he discovered Ellen's body, and he didn't notice the knife protruding from Ellen's chest until about 2 minutes into the call, which the prosecutor told me he found to be very suspicious. I want to play you a little bit of that 911 call, and then I want you to hear the prosecutor's reaction to it.
Okay, so get her flat on her back, bare her chest. Okay, you want to rip her shirt off. Okay, kneel down by her side.
Oh my God, Ellie, please.
Listen, you can't freak out, sir.
Okay, I'm trying not. Her shirt won't come off. It's a zipper. Oh my God, she stabbed herself.
Where?
Bro, that shit sounds so fake. It sounds so absolutely fake. All day fake, bro. I don't know about y'all, but that phone call right there. Oh my God, she stabbed herself. What? Are you kidding me, bro? No. Sorry.
She fell on a knife. Oh no, her knife's sticking out.
What?
There's a knife sticking out of her heart.
Oh, she stabbed herself?
I guess so. I don't know where she
Not
fell
her
on it.
chest,
I don't
her
know.
heart.
How are we 2.5 minutes into this phone call and you're just telling me there's a knife, a chef's knife sticking out of her chest?
He's not just her chest. He specified the heart, almost like he knew that's where that blade was. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of strange. Just kind of strange.
There's a knife sticking out of her chest. First, she must have fallen on it. Okay? Now, again, people have different trauma responses to different ways and different things, but let me understand something. You walk in, you see a knife at some point, I guess 10 minutes in, to your fiance's chest, and you see blood on her head, cut wounds, right? You think, what, that somehow this knife was sitting straight up in the air and she fell down and it perfectly pierced her heart? Like, you think she fell on this knife? No one would think that, right? Like, if someone, I've never heard someone say someone's been stabbed, well, maybe they fell on the knife. I've never heard that, right? There's a possibility of how someone has a knife protruding from their chest. It's ridiculous.
So the big question really is, how do you not notice the knife right away? Like,
Good question. But another question is, okay, let's just say something happened, you accidentally fell on a knife. Explain the rest of the stab wounds.
what the prosecutor said, the former prosecutor said. I wanted to see the crime scene photos for myself, in terms of how easy is it to notice the knife. And they're not public. I mean, you see some stuff online if you Google the case, but the actual crime scene photos of Ellen obviously on the ground with a knife out of her, for good reason, have never been made public. But I made arrangements to be able to see them. Obviously, we're not going to publish them, but I was able to see them for myself just to get an idea of what it looked like. And I wanted to.
Okay, this next part coming up, it's informational, but it's kind of cringy. It's kind of cringy, man. I don't know if I would have made this move.
Narrate as I saw them in real time. I want to show you that.
So these are the autopsy photos. It's obvious why they are not publicly released. They're really, really graphic. But you can, I mean, the first thing I noticed is there's a lot of blood, and you can see the knife. It looks almost like a steak knife just sticking right out of Ellen's chest. I mean, you know, the blade is all the way in, but you can see the full handle sticking out, I would say 6 to 8 inches right out of the front of her. I mean, she's wearing a green sweatshirt, and it seems to me it'd be very, very hard to miss. Yeah, this is a close-up shot. And it's the knife we know from the medical examiner report went right into her heart. But again, very, very bloody, and it's a big handle. I mean, it's
okay. I'll just sort of throw this out there. Okay, so it was a knife from their kitchen, right? Therefore, let's just say somebody did unalive her. Old man saying it wasn't him, trying to claim it's not him. He was down in the gym or whatnot. But it's like, so some random person somehow made their way into that apartment, unalived her, right? And then left and somehow managed to lock the door when he left. It doesn't pan out. There's nothing about this case makes any sense. And the last bit of information that we're going to end up covering on this live, the final updates that we just got, they're going to make you mad.
it's hard not to notice. These are more close-ups, just a lot of blood. In this one, they moved her sweatshirt to the side to sort of show where the knife was actually going in. And we know that, again, the knife went all the way in. So it was like 6 inches of blade inside her all the way. And then this handle, which is very noticeable, which is really sad to look at. Her eyes are open, and it's just tragic.
Okay, it was difficult to look at those photos, but on top of the stab wounds, which everybody talks about for obvious reason, the 20 stab wounds, there was also bruising all over Ellen's body that was discovered during the autopsy. Bruises, and I have pictures. I want to warn you, they're a little graphic. I tried to just zoom in, but you can see bruises on Ellen's body, on her neck, on her wrists. There's a diagram that was made that shows where all the bruises are that gives you an idea of just the extent of how many there were. There were some that were light colored, there were some that were darker colored, which that means some were newer, some were older. There was one expert hired by...
Bro, so she unalived herself by stabbing herself multiple times, including in the back and through the chest, right into the heart. And she abused herself as well. You know, she was like the highest level of self-harm. No, I don't think so. Just don't check out. Mama Bear 72. Welcome. Thank you for coming on over. I appreciate it. Let's see. Let me catch up. See, Summer says he was in the gym and came up and bashed the door in and found her like that. Right? I know that's the official story, but
Ellen's family, who looked at all this and said it showed signs of abuse. And it's interesting when you look at the bruises, you look at the stab wounds, The prosecutor did all of that as part of his investigation and said there is no way that this is a suicide. So he told me that when he investigated back in 2015, he called up the medical examiner and said, look, I don't understand how this is a suicide. And he says that the medical examiner agreed to change the cause of death. When it was homicide originally, then went to suicide, and he said, we will change it back to undetermined, or maybe homicide, but probably undetermined. But that never happened. Why? We don't really know. I interviewed Ellen's family attorney about that. Listen to what he said.
The medical examiner said, well, we're going to change it. 100% we're going to change it. I just don't know to what. Do we make this undetermined and let more investigation occur?
Bro, how do you... I swear, guys, this case is so frustrating. Yeah. Yes, Tibbles. Yes, man. Yes, babe. You could turn that filter off.
And then see if this is a homicide? Or is that enough to say, hey, this is a homicide, and we should be proceeding as though this is a homicide?
Do you think he just got distracted, or do you think there's something more to why he didn't do it?
I think there's a lot more to it than why he didn't do it, which is why we have our second lawsuit accusing, or at least alleging, that he's an accessory after the fact of hiding a homicide.
Okay.
I agree. And you know what's crazy about this case, too? Okay, thank you. You did already. Appreciate you, mama. It's not a new case, but it's definitely one that needs some attention. And what I find crazy about this case is the lack of attention that it got. I know it did get some attention, right? There were some channels that did it, but like not like some of the cases we do follow where where people kind of end up getting, like, they cover it so much they end up making up stuff, and it just kind of like it gets muddy. This case right here is perfect for those type of people because, like, literally the mud's already there, bro. Like, this is a legit conspiracy. This is what a conspiracy for real looks like right here. This has got all the hallmarks of the conspiracy. It blows me when it doesn't get more attention.
Okay, so at this point, it's still technically ruled a suicide. But talking to the
That's not my mom, y'all. That is definitely not my mom.
family attorney and also talking to the former prosecutor, there's something else that stood out to them that I had never learned until this week. In the original autopsy report, medical examiner report, I'm going to show you this quote. According to the report, the medical examiner said that this very famous neuropathologist named Dr. Wark reviewed it, looked at Ellen's spinal cord, and said that it was not punctured by the knife. Not.
Did I just see it come in? Did I just see something come in? Yeah. Miss Beachy, good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Mary Jane Doe, good to see you. Good to see you, sir. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Great live stream, too. Great live stream. I can't wait to get that family on live and let them get that story out some more. And Beachy calls bullshit. And I agree with you.
Not punctured by the knife, which is important because if it had been punctured by the knife, she would have been able to move. It's her spinal column, and she would have been able to keep stabbing herself. So they use that as part of the way they justified that it was a suicide. Well, come to find out, the prosecutor told me when he started investigating, he called Dr. Wark, the neuropathologist, and she knew nothing about the case. She said, I don't know what you're talking about. I never did that. I never looked at the spinal column. And he thought, well, how is that in the medical examiner report then? I want you to hear how the former prosecutor, the way that he describes that.
So I said, send me the report. Well, we can't find it. Okay, well, that doesn't make any sense. But all right, well, send me the log of when she was there to show that she did the examination. We don't have any of that. Okay, send me the bill that she submitted. We don't have that. Okay, send me the cashed check that was sent. We can't find that either. Well, okay, so then I called Dr. Wark. I mean, again, this is like 2015-ish. She had no recollection of doing this, and I don't mean like I don't know, I don't remember. It was more of a like, I don't recall doing that. Like the tone of like, I didn't do that without saying I didn't do that, right? And the way I view it is, if you don't have a report, you don't have a log of her being there, you don't have proof that she billed, you didn't pay her, like it didn't happen then, right? If we're talking in evidence, it didn't happen.
Bro, everything about this case is just wrong. Absolutely wrong. Let's see. And Angelique says his family had clout in judicial system. Call your brother before 911. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you ain't lying. You know this case. You definitely know this case because It's all about power and money and who runs stuff and connections. And this is literally this is like corruption and conspiracy at its finest. Like, no way around it.
If you can't, prosecutors live and breathe in evidence. So if you don't have the evidence that she did it, then to me, she didn't do it.
So what's interesting is it turns out this in Philadelphia, the medical examiner's office actually saved Ellen's spinal cord all these years later. And an expert hired by the family went back and got the spinal column. This has just been the last couple of years, and did their own analysis and realized that it was in fact punctured by the knife. It was punctured by the knife.
Spinal column, guys. We're talking the spinal column. How many of y'all in the kitchen doing your thing accidentally cut a finger, bro? Accidentally cut a finger. And I know some of you ladies might be a lot tougher than me. Probably just, rub some dirt on it or something, get back to cooking. But come on, though. Most of us, even a knife cut on a finger, bro, we're like, freaking out. You know what I mean? You're like, get the blood to stop. The whole nine, right? It's pain, right? It's instant. How the hell are you going to stab yourself like that? And in the spine? You're tripping, bro. Like, how could anybody involved in law enforcement down at the medical facility where they're doing the autopsy, how could anybody look at this case and like been able to say any of this stuff with a straight face? Like, are you serious?
Which means that she wouldn't have been able to move after that knife went into her back, which again makes you question how she'd be able to stab herself 20 times if she punctured her spinal column. So just another frustrating, strange part of this case. Something else that I learned this week from the former prosecutor is when he took on the case, he compiled all of the evidence. He says he got every single piece of evidence imaginable. He went to all the different offices. He had it very well organized. When he went into private practice, when the attorney general took over the investigation, which was Josh Shapiro, he's now the governor. When his office took over, he handed them all the evidence, okay? They decided that it was not a homicide, that they stuck with the suicide ruling, but they talked about these Google searches from Ellen's computer, that there was a report of Google searches from Ellen's computer before she died that say that she or someone was searching painless suicides, how to kill yourself without pain, something like that. But what's so crazy is the former prosecutor said,
bro, so you try to tell me that they're trying to make it sound like she looked up painless suicide and went the route of stabbing yourself multiple times a day? You got to be kidding me, bro.
As that evidence about the Google searches was not in his box. When he got all the evidence, there was nothing about Google searches, he says, and he does not understand how all of a sudden this Google search evidence showed up once the attorney general had the case. He says it makes no sense. Listen to this.
What are you talking about? Records of her Googling suicide. What's in your file? No, it's not. It's in the file that was sent to us. The box with the middle folders and the red labeling on. Yeah. It's not in there. That was never in there. It's in your file. I said, listen, when I had this file, I had every piece of evidence from the medical examiners, from the homicide detectives, from the district attorney's office, time in and time again. I said, is there a single piece of evidence that I don't have? No. This is everything. Nowhere, not one person had shown me, given me, alluded to these computers, cell phones, or any other digital device being searched or data dumped. So what are you talking about, right? Now, if this exists, I have a simple question. I know that it exists. I know a record of these searches exists. My question is, where do they come from?
So even if those records are real, it makes you wonder, like, how they fit into the investigation. I mean, if she was trying to kill herself painlessly, why would she stab herself 20 times? Probably the most brutal way to take your own life. And how could they even prove that it was Ellen who searched those things on the computer? But just a strange circumstance that the prosecutor who initially investigated.
Brian in asking questions that freaking investigators didn't even ask, it seemed like.
Never knew about that evidence. Also, while I was here for the first time, we found the paramedic, the EMT, who showed up to the scene after the 911 call was made. His name is Captain Carl Peripherally. He's got a hard last name to pronounce. But basically, he remembers the name, the night very well, Captain Carl. He got the call, went out there, and says almost immediately he was suspicious of the fact that it was a suicide. Listen to what Captain Carl said.
Now, Summer says his family does have money. That's why he's still free. 100%. They got money and they're connected, right? How much money does it take? How much money does it take to cover up something like this? Makes you wonder.
Take me back to 2011 when you got the call, the Ellen Greenberg call. Take me back to the beginning.
we were obviously coming from the firehouse. It came in as a cardiac arrest, unresponsive, code blue.
Pay attention to this man. Pay attention to this man, right? Your witnesses, your on-scene witnesses, your first responders, like they're such a rich source of information when it comes to crime scenes. And just listen to this man. Look, he knows, man, just like everybody else does.
And as I looked into the room, I could see the victim on the floor in what was like a kitchenette area, and there was quite a bit of amount of blood in front of her on her chest, and some in the room. And the knife was still sticking out of her chest. There was a knife sticking out of her chest. So I could see she was exceedingly pale. The room was warm, but she was cold. And the tips of her fingers were starting to get blue. So the engine lieutenant said, look, we didn't go in because we looked at it as though it might be a crime scene. And I said, I think your supposition's correct. And once I went in and realized there was no pulse, I didn't disturb anything other than to leave it the way I saw it. There were some things that did seem a little strange for this kind of a call. One, that the knife was still sticking out of the chest. And then there were some other wounds where I felt that, if I remember correctly, there was one in her back shoulder blade. I can't remember which side, but I thought to myself, well, to do that, you'd have to be somewhat double or even triple jointed.
So you were...
That's like I was saying, you have to be a contortionist with like the highest pain tolerance ever to be able to do this in your body, not to go into shock after the first 2 stabs. Like, it just physically doesn't make any sense.
Suspicious even at that moment.
From the beginning. Right. We, both my partner and I, felt that somebody somehow had access. Now, who it was, but there was certainly no forced entry into the building.
And it's interesting, Captain Carl also...
And I'm gonna be honest with you all, because I've been following this for a while, right? I've read everything I could find on it, and if he didn't do it, in my opinion, he did. But if he didn't, he had somebody do it. That's how I feel about it. There's no way that this woman did this to herself. There's just no way.
So says that he got a good look at the condition of Ellen's body, and also even had an interaction with the fiance, Sam.
It looked like, to me, it had to have been about an hour. The blood was coagulating in all the pool spots. It wasn't fresh. It wasn't fully liquid. It was coagulated. And the fact that her fingertips were blue meant she didn't have oxygen for quite some time. And
now listen to that, guys. He's giving you a time frame pretty much. He's letting you know that she had to be in that state for a while before that call was made. So it's like, how long was he actually down at that gym? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was some time. There's a time discrepancy here. I know if my boy in here, if my boy Frank's still in here watching, I know he's probably already played with the times. He's good like that. But the time don't check out. It just don't check out.
And the body was cold, but the room was warm. So he kept asking us, is she okay? I can't believe this happened. And in listening just off to the side, where the...
Bro, for real? First, the 911 call sounded like he was just put, like, your boy can't even act that well. It was horrible. And then, like, sitting back, is she okay? Like, bro, you for real?
Police officer was asking about where was he, and he kept saying, oh, I was downstairs in the weight room.
I mean, you walked in and saw her. Do you think someone could walk in and not see the knife sticking out of her chest?
No, not at all.
It was totally visible?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. This is this is the same one.
Absolutely. It was visible to us going through into where she was propped up against the cabinet. Very hard to miss. To see the knife still embedded in the chest and being a large knife the way it was, again, didn't quite fit. You know, all those things that you think about of, well, who else was here? Was more the case then. Could she have done this by herself?
Something else Captain Carl brought up that was interesting.
I think they show that in this clip, Dakota. I'm pretty sure I have it in one of these articles or the clips that I got pulled up. See you later. Good to see you. Thank you. It's good to be back. Thank you very much.
Interesting that I learned this week is what Sam Goldberg was wearing. And I want to show you the surveillance video. This is video we obtained from the apartment building. This is the fiance. You can see he's wearing shorts when he leaves the gym. He says he was at the gym and then goes in the elevator to go up, and that's when he says he discovered Ellen's body. Also, the security guard says he saw Sam wearing shorts. But Captain Carl says when he saw Sam when he arrived that Sam was wearing sweatpants. He says he's sure of it, which is interesting. That's the difference. The police reports say that he's wearing the shorts. Captain Carl says he was wearing the sweatpants. Did he change? This is what the EMT captain has to say about that.
What was he wearing? Do you remember?
I seem to think he was wearing like sweatpants and some kind of a t-shirt. As though he may have been exercising. But if you're off, or maybe it's just lounge.
In my opinion, I think he did it. Went down to the gym, tried to create an alibi, came up, and there is a trick on how to lock a door, like they had when you were going out it. There's a trick to do it, so it is possible to lock the door the way that it was locked. So I think personally, they got in some type of altercation. He did what he did. Went down to the gym, locked the door on the way out, went down to the gym, and then came back and then put on the show. That's just my opinion. That's what it seems like.
Loungewear for you, but
well, and your report from the time said that it was sweatpants,
right?
Which is interesting because there was another witness who said he was definitely wearing shorts.
Okay.
So I don't know if he may have changed.
Didn't see that happen in front of me, and I don't remember the first responder company lieutenant ever saying that they saw him change.
But if you wrote down sweatpants at the time and you still remember sweatpants,
right?
I mean, are you pretty confident it wasn't shorts?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, I would document everything we found. The thing that you never know is you don't know that from when he found her, quote unquote, found her, did he go in and do anything to the crime scene? We don't know. Fingerprints on the door handle. If you watch and you follow what the police do as far as detectives.
How did I miss that? 10 months? 10 months. Thank you so much, my love. I appreciate your support. Got that blackfish.
They look for all of that stuff.
But they didn't do that in this case.
I don't know. I wasn't part of that.
So a lot of questions. Obviously, Sam Goldberg has never been charged with a crime. He's never been formally investigated that we know of. He hasn't responded to our request for comment.
So, Summer, you think that it's what I proposed there? Altercation. He did what he did. Set it up to make it look like, he had nothing to do with it. Went down to the gym, came back, put in the little fake phone call, put on the act. Well, not a fake phone call, it was a real phone call, but put on the act to the people online. And yeah, man, that's what it seems like. I know I shouldn't be saying, he did it, but.
And he lives in New York City now with his wife, and they've got new wife, and they've got kids. No one really responds to comment, really, at all, besides people on Ellen's side. We've reached out to the DA.
Right, Vici, right.
We reached out to the Attorney General's office. We've reached out to the city of Philadelphia, the police department behind me. Everyone sort of doesn't want to talk about it. There are some pending lawsuits. But there's a big development, which I've talked about in the past. This is going to go to the Supreme Court in Pennsylvania next year, beginning of next year, I believe, because Ellen's parents are trying to challenge whether they can fight to have the cause of death change.
Great Bassmaster. Much love and appreciation for you being here, man. Get some rest. Take care of yourself. I think you wore yourself out last night at Rebels.
And that's gone all the way up to the Supreme Court. So we're expecting them to hear the case beginning of next year. A lot of weird legal arguments that are hard to understand. I wanted to bring in the senior producer at News Nation I've been working with on the story, Allison Weiner, to help explain some of that. Okay.
Shelly Seashells, good to see you. Thank you. It feels amazing to be back.
Joined now by Allison Weiner. She is the senior producer who I work with a lot and have been working out here on the Greenberg story with since the beginning, since we started investigating a couple months ago. We're at Panera, by the way, in Philly, because this is where we come to do all our work and look through the documents, and like with those crazy people that sit at Panera for 5 hours. But I wanted to get your take. We've learned a lot over the last...
It's a very nice home office.
It is. We've learned a lot over the last week. And I think people watching this are probably thinking, like, how has there not been more progress in the actual case? Like, we found out all this stuff. Other people have found out all this stuff. Why isn't there anyone really investigating?
I don't understand it either. I think that in order to investigate it, you have to go to a lot of different people. I think there's stuff online, but you start to look at it and it seems fantastical. It seems like it has to have been made up. So at the same thing, it's so strange that it's almost difficult to believe it ourselves.
I agree with her on that. Like, when you start getting into this case, it's like, some cases you have this or that kind of like, that's kind of weird. It's kind of sketchy, but it might just be incompetence. But with this case, there's no way that this level of incompetence exists. And there's no way, the core fact of it, there's no way that a woman's going to unalive herself stabbing herself that many times. It's not possible.
But I think now that people are beginning to see, now that there's going to be a Supreme Court hearing, there's something for everyone to realize that there's something that can be done. I think it felt insurmountable at some point, that the people, that no matter what we did or what you found or how we've seen over and over again instances of problems with not collecting any evidence, with the police not doing anything that they should have done at the time of the death of Ellen Greenberg. I mean, we just keep seeing example after example.
Thanks for stopping in, sir. Appreciate you. Get it in, bro. Today was my off day, man. Do a couple reps for me.
Example of frankly screw-ups that maybe they felt it was impossible. And it's just like, why do we keep covering this and nothing ever happens? Well, something's going to happen.
You've really gotten to know the Greenbergs, Ellen's parents, who have been fighting for years and years and years, are getting older. I've interviewed them, but you've gotten to know them more personally. I mean, it's really rough for them, it seems like.
I don't know how anybody can go through something like this and still be okay. I think that they've been fighting so long. It's incredible that they haven't given up. And I know everybody probably says, oh, it was my child, I would keep fighting, but this has been an expensive, frustrating. Every time you think something's going to happen, and we learned this from the former prosecutor that reviewed the file and said it should be designated as at least an undetermined cause of death, if not a homicide. But every time that was about to happen, something went wrong, and the police and the medical examiner managed to keep it as suicide. And there's just, frankly, and it's something that might have been.
You guys, let me tell you right now, her parents are amazing people. Absolutely amazing people, and they have fought so hard for their daughter. And let me tell you, like, I just recently got to start doing some work with the advocacy group, and so I'm in chat groups with some really amazing parents that have lost loved ones, and some of the situations are pretty bad. Some of them it's that we don't know per se. And to see what those parents have gone through and to like feel the emotion watching them, tell their story in our group and everything, it'll get you, man. It'll get you. But now, could you imagine? And I know some of my advocacy people are probably in here in this chat watching, and some of the parents might actually be here too. And I just couldn't imagine, man. Like after hearing some of the stories that I've heard and getting to know some people, I couldn't imagine like what these parents are going through. It's like not only are they having to advocate and fight for their daughter, it's like, look at this case, look at the facts in this case, and nobody's doing anything for them. Like it's, man, I can't even put it into words how emotionally frustrating and angering that is.
Talking about a lot. There's no evidence that it's a suicide. I mean, and all the evidence actually points in the opposite direction. The only thing they could really point to is that she had some mental issues, some depression, and some anxiety. And I think it was just easier for everyone to not do anything. And I think that's what's been going on too in terms of the reporting. It becomes easier to just, why should we dig into this? Because they're losing every single time in court. The fight to overturn what the medical examiner says can't be done in Philadelphia, that the Philadelphia medical examiner, if he makes a determination, nobody can make him change that determination. That's some
bullshit. That's what that is. That's some bullshit.
One person completely above the law.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
So you mentioned Supreme Court. It may go beginning of next year where they'll decide whether or not that the cause of death can be reinvestigated. That's the issue coming up.
Right.
What about the civil case? Is that ongoing?
The civil case is ongoing.
The parents are suing, right?
The parents are suing for, there's a couple of lawsuits, but the major one that's about to be up where the other side, where the medical examiner's office and the police have moved to dismiss. This is where the other side of the lawsuit, the medical examiner's office, has moved to get rid of this lawsuit. And there's going to be, hopefully, a hearing for summary judgment, on summary judgment, and where the Greenbergs will be able to argue that basically there's been a cover-up, that a mistake was made. This is kind of what the papers say. A mistake was made, several mistakes were made. And after those mistakes were made, that there was an active effort by, and this is what the complaint says, the Philadelphia police, along with the medical examiner's office, to cover up what actually occurred, what actually happened to Ellen.
And that is like literally one of the only ways that you can legally approach a corrupt situation, right? So it's like these people pulled some corruption, right? And now they're trying to cover up the corruptness, but they're going to do it by, mistakes were made. Like there's no way that many mistakes could be made. But it's like, when you know, that's how you have to approach it. You have to find it like that. Like, You can't just straight call corruption. It's like, oh, we're gonna go after the mistakes. This shit's corruption, man.
Yeah, it's all a disturbing case. Our hearts go out to Ellen's family.
I don't know. I know. I just every time you talk to them, they need support, and they feel like they're living in an alternate reality. That's what Sandy Greenberg has said to me, and I get that now. And when you ask about coverage, why is it people sort of it's not going anywhere? I think it feels surreal when you see somebody who has 10 stab wounds in the back of their neck and their back area and their head, and then several like stab wounds in their front that could have like any one of them could have killed them, and somebody says it's a suicide. It's just you can't even wrap your head around it. How did that happen?
Yeah.
And that's the question that you and I are investigating person by person, document by document, surveillance video, whatever. But quite frankly, the Greenbergs didn't manage until they filed a civil lawsuit, alleging the cover up, to even get any of this information until at least 2017, and some of it just came in 2022. So this is a fight that's been going on a long time, and you can't really get anybody to take notice until you start to see what the police had.
Yeah, more than a decade. So we're going to stay on it. We're going to get back to the job now, but we'll stay on it. Long Crime News Nation. Obviously, the Supreme Court hearing could be, we think, in the beginning of 2025, and we'll keep you posted. See you.
All right, guys. So it's quite a bit of pretty good rundown on what's going on with it, or at least the beginning. So let me pull up some. Let's see. Where's it at? Where's our updates? Okay, so here's one of the little juicy tidbits Summer had kind of brought up in chat. We'll go ahead and share this one. Go ahead and read this to y'all. Y'all get to be blessed with my reading skills again. I know you guys missed that, right? Okay, so we got judge tied to Ellen Greenberg's fiance took items from her suicide scene before police search. Yeah. Okay. The parents of Philadelphia teacher Ellen Greenberg are blasting what they call an unjust investigation into her 2011 death that was ruled a suicide after her fiance found her in the kitchen during a blizzard with 20 stab wounds and covered in bruises with half-made fruit salad on the countertop. So it's like that right there, dude. Like just that opening line right there. Like, so in the middle of a blizzard, by her old man is down working out. She halfway makes the fruit salad and then decides that she's gonna, I guess, search on the computer on how to unalive yourself painlessly, and then chooses to, after half making the salad, to unalive yourself. Dude, just don't check out. Okay. Her parents want to know why her fiance's prominent judge uncle was allowed to remove a number of items from the scene. Things were removed from the crime scene without our permission. The chain of custody was broken from the very beginning, with Jim Schwartzman removed computers, electronics, my daughter's handbag. Dr. Josh Greenberg told Fox News Digital in joint interview with his wife, Sandy Greenberg. Like, that says it all right there, y'all. That literally says it all. I'm telling you, like, corruption, cover up, real conspiracy. This is what real conspiracy and corruption looks like. Provable, right? It's like, well, to a point, I guess. To a point. A representative for the James Schwartzman, Ellen's fiance, Sam Goldberg's uncle, and a distinguished judge in Pennsylvania responded to these claims on his behalf, saying police gave him permission to go in and take Ellen's belongings. He denied removing Ellen's handbag, but he admitted to removing her computers and cell phones. Like, what? Like, okay, you don't have no pull with the police, right? But the door was damaged and unsecure, and he took out items that he thought might be stolen, the representative for Schwartzman explained on such hard code. So ridiculous, dude. So I ain't get into it. That shit just irritating. He took him to save him because of crime scene. It's a crime scene. There wouldn't be no cops to secure the crime scene. So he took this guy. Oh my goodness. And it's like, it's a scene where you come up on it. Any law enforcement that's worth their salt sees this scene, you're not assuming it's a suicide. You're assuming it's a crime scene. Like, you'd have to be next level challenged as law enforcement to go into that scene and be like, yeah, I think that maybe she'll unalive herself. Like, bro, the moment I walk in as LE and I see that, oh, we shutting it down. We securing everything. Nobody's coming in, right? Proper chain of custody with everything. And everything is evidence. Like, get out of here. All right, where was I? Responding to Dr. Greenberg's concern about the chain of custody of his daughter's devices, Schwartzman representative said, my understanding from 42 years of practice in chain of custody pertains to items that have been seized by the police and not items just taken from a location. I just don't understand that's applicable to this particular situation, especially when the police have released the scene and given permission for Mr. Schwartzman to go and get it. That's the problem. That's the whole problem, right? It's like, how the hell you release the scene? How do you not take in all the evidence when the average person off the street could walk in and look at that crime scene and be like, oh, this lady was unalived. I don't know. Maybe I'm not making any sense. Maybe I'm just seeing it wrong. But to me, it's like, there's no way that she did that to herself. To me, I'm going in and treating it like a crime scene. Whole thing's getting locked down, and every device, everything is evidence. Everything. Because what happens during a murder? Everybody closest to the person is first suspect, right? Meaning, the man she's living with. So how in the hell is that dude's devices not taken, everything not taken, and evidence right out the gate, right? It's asinine. So for me, it's like, what I felt like is dude did what he did, called up family pulled their power, and this shit unfolded the way it did. There's really no other way to explain it. I mean, at least to me. He added the Schwartzman didn't need permission of Greenberg's parents to take anything from the apartment once police released the scene. Fucking foul, man. Frankly, that's kind of a red herring, he said. When the police telephoned Mr. Schwartzman and requested that he bring the computers and cell phones to the police station, he immediately did so. What, after wiping them? Serious, bro. Serious. Still, Greenberg's parents and experienced outside investigators have raised concerns that police botched their response and released the scene too early. An appellate court panel last year exonerated the police, prosecutors, and forensic pathologists who worked the case, even as it ruled against the parents. The fuck? Bro, like, come on, man. Let's see. Summer, this case is so frustrating. I can't imagine what Ellen's parents' family go. Me neither. I can't. When I saw the update for this come out, I was like, that's definitely gonna be one of the first live streams I gotta do coming back. Joanna says it insults everyone's intelligence. Definitely. Could never imagine losing a family member and it either be not found or mislabeled, because there's no excuse for this. And basically what I just read, it all getting pushed down, right? It's all getting pushed down to l.l.l, responding l.l.l, all that. The botched investigation, when, in my opinion, it was purposely botched. Neither Goldberg nor Schwartzman have been accused of any wrongdoing. Melissa Ware, the former property manager of Ellen's apartment building, previously spoke to Fox Nation about receiving a call from someone who she believed was Schwartzman at the time. I received a call from someone in Sam's family. I think it might have been the uncle. They wanted to come to the apartment to get a few personal effects for the funeral. I immediately called the police to see what I could or couldn't do, and they told me that there was no problem letting them in. It was no longer a crime scene. Okay, so here's another thing, right? So his whole excuse was like the door was messed up, so he didn't want nothing stolen, so that's why he went and got the stuff. But yet, to go get the stuff, he had to call the manager and be let into the property to get the stuff. I don't know. And then I asked, well, what is condition of the apartment look like? Because I hadn't been inside, and is there someone that could clean it up? and they said that it's something they didn't do. Where it continued, I asked for a recommendation. They gave me a crime scene cleanup. Bruh. So, like, wasn't investigated properly. No evidence, chain of custody, none of that, and no proper forensics does. Just straight release it. It's insane, dude. You can't make this up. She called the company, which arrived to wipe out the scene the day before police came back with a search warrant, according to Greenberg's. The way shit unfolds so crazy, guys. Greenberg's family lawyer, Joe Pedorza, and appellate court documents. The knife found in Greenberg's chest was never fingerprinted, and the second possible weapon was never recovered. Right? Because I think they speculate that there was 2 knives used, from what I understand. Investigators didn't use the blood detecting chemical luminol to examine the scene. Bro, nothing about this was done right, y'all. Nothing about it was done right. Snap, let me see. Call me. Okay, I'll call you, babe. I'll call you. Thank you for being here, mama. Baby. I guess I have to call you baby on YouTube so it's not confusing. Okay, Greenberg 27 was found on January 6, 2011 with 20 stab wounds, including 10 from behind, at least one of which could have been inflicted after she was already dead. Yep, that sounds like suicide to me. You know what? This is a suicide, guys. This is a self-unaliving. It's just done Arkansas style. I don't know if any of you guys understand that or not, but it's kind of how it happens in Arkansas or anybody that's surrounded by the Clintons. Anyways, let's proceed. Let's see. Her body was also covered in bruises in different stages of healing, which her parents say are consistent with abuse. And I would agree with that. I mean, I would definitely agree with that. Miss Joanna says, gotta be a cover-up. I agree. Yeah, with that, yeah. Okay, let me keep rolling here. After her death, a forensic pathologist with the city medical examiner's office, Dr. Marlon Osborne, ruled it a homicide according to court documents. Then he reversed course after meeting with police behind closed doors and deemed it an official suicide. So here's what we're looking at, right? If you're in the conspiracy realm, is either it was a legit screw up by law enforcement investigation and the conspiracy is the cover up, or the conspiracy is that dude did it, called his rich uncle made some stuff happen and made it all go away. So I'm going with the rich uncle part. That's the only thing that seems to be checking out at this point. There's no reason for police to withhold anything in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Suicide is not a crime, Dr. Greenberg told Fox News Digital. So why are they holding on to my daughter's personal effects? I'd like to see my daughter's journal, Sandy Greenberg added. I would like her Ugg boots. I'd like her glasses. I don't see any reason to withhold these things from us when they insist it's a suicide. Exactly, bro. Exactly. The Greenbergs claim that in addition to Ellen's belongings, Philadelphia officials are withholding further surveillance footage from the day of her daughter's death and a videotape that were recorded of the scene taken before it was cleaned up. Police released several hours of surveillance footage from Greenberg's apartment building on the night of her death to Pedroza, who first shared it with Gavin Fish, an independent investigative reporter who has a website dedicated to solving the case. Web sleuths and supporters of the family from around the country have spent hours watching clips, surveillance videos from the apartment's building lobby hallways for clues. The librarian told Penn Live that a man was seen on camera nervously bouncing around the lobby near the elevator before using a Kleenex to dab the blood from an unspecified injury. She reportedly sent that information to investigators. Yeah, and I heard that just came out. That footage just came out. And that's why I have you know, a possible, like, if my suspicion is if the fiance didn't do it, he had somebody to do it, and if he had somebody do it, this guy they caught on film acting real sketchy. I mean, great possibility. Wouldn't surprise me. The video makes me very curious because I don't know who a number of people that appear in the video are, whether they are residents or visitors, Sandy Greenberg said. I wanted like a 48-hour window of people coming and going in the building. I asked for a guest list. I didn't get that. They shouldn't be withholding this information from us. They're literally withholding all the information. Any of us that are into like investigating crimes, cold cases, all that stuff, especially like the work we do in the advocacy group, like that's what we go back and look at. We're going back to the beginning. We're getting all the footage. We're getting everything, all statements, interviews, everything. So they can't get a hold of like some of the most important information you need if you're trying to get this reinvestigated. Yeah. We're talking about a chunk of surveillance footage, which is really a couple of hours. Sandy and I have never seen more than a chunk of surveillance, Dr. Josh Greenberg said. Since their daughter's death, the Greenbergs have been entangled in a court battle with the government. They've accused the medical examiner's office of covering up their daughter's homicide, demanded police turn over more evidence, and tried suing to have the designation of suicide on her death certificate replaced with homicide or undetermined. In September, Pennsylvania Supreme Court agreed to hear arguments from the Greenbergs and their attorney. The Supreme Court is going to be deciding whether or not Sandy and I have standing, and that's a real big thing. I mean, no one has ever gotten this far. I know it's taken almost 14 years, but it's still a very important case, Dr. Greenberg said. I very much look forward to being able to have our voices heard, Sandy said. Not only are we fighting now for justice for Ellen, but because there's so much attention on these different lawsuits, it will set some precedent, hopefully, for further victims of heinous crimes. The Chester County District Attorney's Office initiated an independent investigation roughly 2 years ago that is ongoing after both Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Kasner and former Pennsylvania Attorney General Josh Shapiro, now the governor, both recused themselves from the case. Always makes you get that side eye when you hear that recusing themselves from something. Goldberg and the Chester County District Attorney's Office did not immediately respond to comment. Sometimes people feel when I'm talking about Ellen, they want me to probably just give up and forget it ever happened. But I don't want anyone to walk in my shoes and experience the amount of loss, Sandy Greenberg said. For Josh and I, this is a mission that we have because it's so wrong and so unjust. So that's not the end, guys. That's not the end. We got pretty much the ultimate update. Just give me 1 minute. Let me cue up. Okay, so this next article is a follow-up to that information. Go ahead and pop that up. Let's see. Summer Thunder. She definitely did not stab herself in the chest. Ellen had a great life. Her fiance is the one that caused her death, in my opinion. There's no arguments. Me and you on the same page, Miss Summer. We on the same page. None of it makes sense. There's no logical, rational way to convince me that this woman wasn't murdered. Like, there's no way around it. But anyways, let me go ahead and get in this next article. And this is where I was like, yep, I'm definitely covering this. When I come back, this has got to be one of the first things that we cover. And right as I'm coming back, sure enough, we get these updates, and it's pretty booty, man. Pretty upsetting. So, Ellen Greenberg, DA unable to move forward with investigation of teacher found with over 20 stab wounds. Yes, you heard me right. Pennsylvania prosecutors announced that they have chosen not to proceed in reopening the case of Ellen Greenberg. Prosecutors from outside the case have determined they cannot prove beyond a reasonable doubt that a crime took place in the death of Greenberg, whose death was ruled a suicide in 2011. Are you... Oh, bro, tell me that don't make you mad. Tell me that don't make you mad. Like, if you know this case... Everybody that was following this case over the last few years, right? But like I said, there was a big push last year with the parents like really pushing for justice, pushing for something. And I mean, I got vested. So when this came out, if you're like me, you probably lost it if you've seen this before now. Okay. As Crime Online previously reported, 27-year-old Ellen, a first grade teacher, was found fatally stabbed in her Maniac. I can't say that, man. My bad. Apartment. Greenberg's fiance, Sam Goldberg, said he left for the gym while Ellen chopped up fruit in the kitchen. So she was in the middle of making that when he left to go to the gym. It looks like she didn't make it any farther past making it. Like, did you see the timing? You see the timing? And in a news release, the Chester County District Attorney's Office stated that the case will be moved to inactive status. The agency has been overseeing the investigation due to conflicts in Philadelphia. Since their daughter's death, Dr. Josh and Sandy Greenberg have been locked in court disputes over changing the cause of death. They have claimed that the medical examiner's office is hiding evidence of her homicide and have tried to sue to have her death certificate amended from suicide to homicide or undetermined. I mean, the fact that they won't even move it to undetermined, right? So it's like, realistically, logically, if we can't prove, you want to say it's suicide, but there's realistically, that doesn't make any logical sense. But we can't prove it's a homicide because, well, you guys didn't actually do an investigation. So that would just leave us at undetermined. So what is the big deal of changing it to undetermined? It don't make sense. Okay. Chester County detectives reviewed earlier investigations by the Philadelphia Police Department, and the Attorney General Office conducted new interviews and sought input from independent forensic expert, among other investigative measures. CBS News reports. The office did, however, say that there is a chance the case can be revisited given the statute of limitations law in Pennsylvania. Come on, PA, what's up with your courts, bro? A lot of hinky business with them PA courts. There is no statute of limitations for criminal homicide in Pennsylvania, and because the investigation can take new directions, we are not closing the case, the office said. All right, so let's see. Yeah, that's article. So, guys, man, I got one more little video. It's kind of the same information, but we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna play it, listen to it. But let me catch back up in chat, see what you guys are saying in chat. Hey, Miss Taylor. Good to see you, my friend. Sorry I couldn't make your live the other morning. You went live before I was even off work. Right, babe. Ain't no woman wasting the fruit like that. They ain't doing it. Everybody knows a woman chops up vegetables or chops up fruit. If it's not getting eaten, they're putting it in the freaking fridge. They're gonna make sure that it doesn't go to waste, right? They ain't gonna spoil. Good point. That right there. Solve a case. Yeah, see, well said. Exactly. All right. I'll go ahead. We're going to go ahead and listen to this. Just going to have a little bit of the same information we've already covered, but it's a good little video. And we'll probably go ahead and wrap up with that. We'll wrap up with this. See if you guys have any questions, any comments. Let's get through it, though. Let's jump into it.
Today, a major update in the case involving the mysterious death of Ellen Greenberg. The Philadelphia teacher was discovered by her fiance in their Manioc apartment in 2011.
Manioc apartment. Oh, snap. The rooster has entered the building. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you.
She had been stabbed 20 times. Her parents and their attorneys believe Ellen was murdered, but authorities insist that she died by suicide, despite the medical examiner originally ruling her manner of death as a homicide.
The case has seen its fair share of twists and turns through the legal system. And for the past 2 years, the Chester County District Attorney's Office has been reviewing the investigation to determine if a crime was committed. NBC's Brian Sheehan's been following this story for years and is live in the newsroom now with the findings of this long-awaited report. Brian.
Yeah, Jacqueline and Tracy, this case has puzzled medical experts and fascinated the public. with many believing Ellen was murdered. And after more than 2 years of looking into the case, the Chester County District Attorney telling us today it does not have sufficient evidence to reopen the investigation.
It's disappointing, not unexpected.
Disappointed but not defeated. Attorneys representing Ellen Greenberg's parents say they're moving forward in their legal battle involving the mysterious death of the Philadelphia elementary school teacher. The Chester County District Attorney's Office revealing today that after its review of the case, the investigative team determined that based on the current state of the evidence, we cannot prove beyond a reasonable doubt that a crime was committed.
Bro, but you can't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that a suicide was committed. Bro, you cannot prove that. It makes no sense. Oh, this is so frustrating. My Lord.
It goes on to state, because we cannot meet our burden of proof with the information and evidence presently available, we placed this investigation in an inactive status.
Investigation that they ultimately conducted in Chester County was very limited compared to what we've done on behalf of the family in the litigation.
Attorney William Trask telling NBC 10 this morning that during a recent meeting with the Chester County DA's office, he learned investigators there did not review all the evidence he and his team collected over the years.
We asked, for example, whether they had reviewed medical evidence we'd obtained that established that Ellen medically, biomechanically was incapable of stabbing herself all 20 times. Obviously, the conclusion to draw from that is somebody else did it if Ellen couldn't have done it herself. We said, what have you done to discredit that finding? Nothing.
In 2011, 27-year-old Ellen Greenberg was discovered by her fiancé in the kitchen of their Manayunk apartment. She had been stabbed 20 times. The Philadelphia Medical Examiner originally ruled her manner of death as suicide, then changed it to homicide before switching it back to suicide. Her parents, Josh and Sandy, believe their only child was murdered and have been fighting with the city of Philadelphia for more than a decade.
This is not a typical case and a typical investigation.
Chester County received the investigation in 2022 from the Pennsylvania Attorney General's office to avoid what it described as an appearance of a conflict of interest. In its report today, the Chester County DA says its investigators worked to determine whether sufficient evidence existed to reopen the investigation, and that detectives first conducted a thorough review of the PPD and OAG investigations. They then pursued additional investigative steps, including but not limited to conducting new interviews and consulting with an independent forensic.
Oh man, I wish somebody can make this make sense. I wish somebody can make it make sense, because it don't make any damn sense.
Forensic expert.
We believe beyond a reasonable doubt that Ellen was murdered, and the expert that they identified is from a different specialty and not entirely competent to assess the bona fides of the evidence that we've collected.
Now, this matter is far from over despite today's revelation. The Greenbergs have two big separate court cases against the city coming up. The first begins next month. The other is before the Pennsylvania State Supreme Court. While Chester County said it's unable to move forward with criminal charges, the DA reiterated that because there is no statute of limitations on homicides and because investigations can take new directions, it is not closing the door on this case. Live in the newsroom, I'm Brian Sheehan, NBC 10 News.
All right, guys. So that is, there was one.
We want justice for Ellen.
Oh, come on, man.
That's what this is all about. Very simple. It's not involved.
The parents of Ellen Greenberg, a 27-year-old.
Okay. That's an old one. All right, guys. So that's what we got on the Ellen Greenberg case updates. So if you didn't know about it, dude, come on. Come on. All right. Sorry, guys. My whole system is glitching again. Well, I guess my computer's telling me that the show has come to a close. But it held up, man. It held up for me to get through everything I wanted to get through for the update. But that's it, man. That's it. Like, all that fighting that these parents have done, all the progression that the case has made up to this point, it's just brick wall. brick wall. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of conversating with parents in similar situations with the advocacy group, and oh man, the emotions just talking to them and then seeing what they've gone through, and then just to imagine the Greenbergs have been going through this since 2011 and been fighting for their daughter since 2011 just to get to this point in 2024 and be told that there's not enough evidence, there's nothing that we can do. It just makes no sense at all. No sense at all. Let's see. Okay. See, Summer is the way it's pronounced. Hard to say if you're not from around here. Love that you're bringing light to this case. That's what the plan is. Last year when I got into everything, I mean, I like to cover cases everybody else is covering too, because I always got something to say. But one of my things was trying to get a hold of cases like not a lot of people are talking about. And I mean, I can't say that that's the case for Ellen's situation, because there were people covering it. Surviving the Survivor, that's a great channel. They've pretty much been working with the parents at times for interviews and stuff. That's pretty good. They've done a little bit, but I'm really trying to get that. So for anybody here, if there are cases that touch you, like that you're, I don't know, like you want to see, you want people to cover, you want to advocate for per se, I guess, hit me up, let me know about it, because like I love to do that. Like I know a lot of content creators will tell you, oh, let's send me information for cases, and then they just kind of revert to covering the same stuff because it gets the views. I like to cover new stuff, dude. I want to get cases out there that people don't know about. I want to shine some more light on victims, man. Like there's so many people out there that need voices. Like I'm starting to learn that big time in the advocacy group I'm in. And there's going to be a lot of there's going to be some interviews going on this channel now too, because I have a lot of amazing parents that are fighting this same type of fight, literally fighting the same type of fight. And yeah, I want to help them fight that fight. So I mean, there's people in our group. Our main the main man of the group, Frank, he does a lot of the research, a lot of the timelines. He's putting the stuff together. He does a lot of the legwork, man. He's getting these investigations reopened. But if I could do my part and be a platform for these families and I mean, dude, that's what it's all about, really. Honestly, that's the most important part. It's like, don't get me wrong, I like to cover the big cases, where we really know what's going on and we can just speculate on things, but helping people with unsolved or missing, like, it's huge, man. It's huge. So definitely looking forward to getting some of that going on in the channel and helping these families. But other than that, shoot me some cases, shoot me some topics too, because we can mess around and get on topics that aren't true crime as well. Let me see. Summer says, you on Facebook, Pastor? Yes, Miss Summer, I am. The links for my Facebook are in the description of the video, so get a link up there. But yeah, guys, so shoot me some cases. Tell me what you're interested in. Find some stuff nobody's talking about. Let's get into it, man. Let's bring some more light to some more cases. Kind of tired of the oversaturation of certain cases. Like, it's good that those people are getting the coverage, but let's spread the love, man. Let's spread the awareness. Let's make some changes, right? It's like, I thought 2024 was going to be my big year in true crime, right? And it didn't work out that way, but I'm trying to get back in the groove. That way we can make 2025 like real significant. So we'll clean up this year and do some good stuff next year. But hit me up, guys. Hit me up. And then for other channels that are doing advocacy, like covering missing persons, cold cases, content creators that aren't drama based, that stay out of the garbage, hit me up, man. Let me know what you're working on. Maybe, just collaboration as far as information and whatnot. But yeah, let's start making some changes out here with the true crime, dude, because it got wild this year, guys. Some new pinnacles were hit in a very bad way. So I think we could be a positive influence out here. But that being said, I will stop rambling and I will. Ms. Taylor, I see that question, and I seen the question you said. That's one of those cases I'm talking about that has plenty of attention towards it, and I feel like that particular case, for me to even speak on it at all, just opens a giant door for things I don't want on this channel. But I do have opinions on it, but it's not like everybody else's. So, but that being said, all right, guys, I'm doing that whole 12-hour goodbye. But hit me up. We got Facebook, we got X, we got Instagram, we got Rumble. The stream to both Facebook and YouTube today. I was trying to get to go to X, I didn't go to X, but yeah, hit me up, shoot me some cases. Let me know what you think about the cases we're covering. Let me know what you think let me know how you think I'm doing on the channel. Yeah, man, I'm always down to taking some good criticism. So that being said, you guys, I'm gonna call it a night. Probably get off here, call my woman, and figure out what we're gonna do for the next live stream. Yeah. All right, guys. Much love. I appreciate you guys so much for being here, and much love to all my people that hung in with me. They're still here. I was almost gone a year, man. I really didn't expect this show out. So much love, y'all. I appreciate you. Until next time. It's your boy, the real Piscine Predator, aka TRPP, babe. Yeah. Until next live stream, short, whatever it is, I'm out, y'all. Much love. Peace.
True talk show where the real stories flow. Tom the real Piscine Predator, letting the truth show. From crimes to politics, he dives deep into the core. MMA, trending news, nothing he won't explore. Get ready for the ride, no filter, no disguise. TRPP'S True Talk Show, where the real stories flow. Tom the real Piscine Predator, let it talk like the truth show. From crimes to politics, he dives deep into the core. MMA, trending news, nothing he won't explore. Get ready for the ride, no filter, no disguise. TRPP speaks the truth, no sugarcoat or lie. Buckle up, hold tight, the facts will blow your mind. Smash the like, comment, subscribe, don't let this pass by. No, let this pass by. Unveiling mysteries, shedding light on what's concealed. Tom unravels the unseen, the untold tales revealed. Each episode a journey, a roller coaster of insight. No topic off limits, the uncovering taking flight. Brace yourself for the impact, the naked truth on display. TRPP'S voice echoes loud, resonating far and wide. Standing tall in the storm, unafraid to take a side. Join the conversation, let knowledge be your guide. Malone! And the roar of honesty, the rhythm of the real, in the realm of authenticity where lies can't steal. TRPP'S True Talk Show, a beacon of zeal.